Hi, my name's Nick Jarvis and welcome to Light Minds. In this short video, what I'm going to do is just give you a very brief overview of the approach that we have with Light Minds in terms of losing weight and getting into great shape. And I just want to explain some of the key misunderstandings that people have when they try and lose weight, and how Light Minds helps people overcome that. So let me first of all share my screen with you. Okay, so this is about our approach. So the first thing is that when people set out to lose weight, not just lose weight, but change anything in their life, they normally set out from a place where there's something going on for them that they want to change, they want to fix. They're struggling, they're confused about something, they don't feel right about it. Now, of course, that's not always true. Sometimes we see something and go, oh, I'd like that. And so that's what we call a moving towards goal, as opposed to away from. But in weight loss, it seems that most people get to the point where they go, oh, okay, I want to change now. Hence why, January, June, September, the times of when people do look to want to lose weight. So we're in this situation. I want to lose weight. I want to overcome what I've got, lethargy, I feel unattractive, whatever it is, I want to change that. So what I do is I set some goals. These goals that I set are going to fix things for me. So I believe that if I move from where I am today and move forward into the future, and I'm different in the future, things are going to be different for me. Now, this video is a very short video, just giving an introduction to the approach we adopt. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but that in itself can set you up to actually experience some real challenges and difficulties on your journey to getting into great shape. But that's what most people do. I'm going through the approach most people take, and of course, this is very generalized. So the next thing we do is, okay, if this is my goal, I then want a way to achieve that goal. So I seek out an approach, and that approach has many, many different forms when it comes to losing weight. You just have to Google weight loss put into Google weight loss, and you'll see there are millions of ways of doing it, just absolutely tons. And you will know that there's so much information out there. The thing about it is those solutions that we aim for are normally from outside ourselves. So we're either looking for some more information, a new way, a new method, something that will enable me to achieve my goal, but it's out there predominantly, books, programs, audios, whatever it is. That's what I'm looking for. So I seek the solutions. And then what I do is I implement the solutions through willpower and discipline. I'm going to be really focused. I'm going to make it happen. This is the time I'm going to really go to work. So that's the approach that I adopt. And that, this is, obviously, as I said, generalizing, but sadly, and again, not going into too much detail, we don't have that much willpower. Willpower isn't meant for an extended time, to be used for extended time. And so, in effect, it actually leads to, for most people, a downfall, because most people tend not to lose weight. It's estimated about 1 in 20, if you're lucky, loses the weight, but even less than that keep it off. So from that perspective, what ends up is exactly where you were before, probably even worse than you were before in a short period of time. And this is what then leads to yo-yoing, because over time, what happens is you continue to be confused and upset about it, struggling. So you go, okay, I'm going to change how I am. And you set another goal. So there's the yo-yo element to it. And this is what we call the cycle of desperation. And it's going downwards. And for many people, when it comes to weight loss and their well-being, that's where they're at. They're in this cycle of desperation. And this is summed up, this is a very depressing quote, I agree with this, but Henry David Thoreau's quote, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them." And so this isn't just about weight loss, this is about things generally. That's what's happening to people. And they're not actually making the breakthroughs that they want. Now, In terms of light minds, there are three things that we focus on, which we consider to be the primary misunderstandings that cause the problems people have. Now, the problems and challenges people have, the obstacles can be many, but they all seem to come from these three things. The first is we feel trapped about who we are. So we think we're a fixed object. Our personality's fixed. Our identity's fixed. What I can do and what I can't do is fixed. I'm good at this, I'm not good at that. And that's a misunderstanding. And in future videos, and of course on the Light Minds program, I go through this in much more detail. We're not our conditioning. We're not our identity. That was learned and therefore can be unlearned. And when you understand that, you go, oh, okay, so who I am today, I don't have to be tomorrow. No, you don't. And by the way, you aren't. You're continually changing, and you have been. Yes, you might have some habits that are getting in your way, but they were also learned and therefore can be unlearned. You don't have to be the same person. So when I ask people on courses and webinars and things and say, okay, so describe yourself, they describe themselves, I'm fat, or I'm overweight, or I don't like exercise, I'm not motivated. They put all of these things, labels, against themselves, but none of those things are actually true. Now, some of you might be watching this going, no, but I am. I'm overweight. Yeah, but the thing is, if you're overweight, it doesn't mean you're fixed as being overweight, because you can lose it, and you have done. You weren't always the weight you are. And this applies to everything. So that's something that we go into, but that's one of the misunderstandings. The second misunderstanding is that we think our moment-to-moment experience is coming from things outside of us, the world that we're in. So for example, that person upsets me, therefore I am feeling like this. And therefore I eat something. So there's a cause and effect. Or I've had a hard day at work, so I'm now tired and I need to relax, so I will have a drink. So there's a cause and effect, a habit. But that comes from believing that it's the work that causes me to be tired. And some of you are going, well, it does cause me to be tired. Well, that's interesting. See, our emotional states, actually, we think come from outside of ourselves, but they don't. It works inside out, not outside in. This is a really difficult thing for people to get their heads around. I get that. But that's the second misunderstanding that we work through with Light Minds to help people to see things differently. Because if you understand that, when you go up on the journey of losing weight and get into great shape, and you're challenged by particular things, what you think is challenging you in the moment isn't what it really is. When you see through that misunderstanding, things can change for you in a major way. Now, the third thing relates to our ability to change, to grow, to be different. So what we tend to do is we tend to look outside ourselves, and we're of course conditioned to do this from the time we were born. These people will look after me, and adults impregnate that in us. Oh, I'm here to help you. It's like teachers are the same. We've got to go to school to learn. We've got to go on a course. I need the experts to help me. We're always looking for external assistance. Now, the truth is, of course, learning like that can help. So I'm not saying it's not viable. You're doing that if you're listening to me now. But what I am saying is, sorry, viable, worthwhile. What I am saying is that it's actually, you've got an incredible ability to grow and develop. How do I know that to be true? Well, you wouldn't be here today if you hadn't. You wouldn't have got to where you are. Something else is going on that's not external to you. You have incredibly powers within you. So when you look at performance, and so let's say, I use that kind of term because I'm either tend to be working in the management field or something like that, or with sports people. So I tend to refer to it as performance. But let's say achieve results instead of performance. At the moment, you could use the equation, and many people do, what I'm capable of, my potential, my capacity, plus more information will increase my performance. So, for example, what I'm potentially as a person at being in great shape, plus you give me that diet or you give me X, Y, Z, then I will actually get into great shape. So I'm looking for more information. That's what I think will help me. When in fact, you can look at it in a very different way. The results you achieve equals your capacity, your capability, your potential, minus interference. What that infers, of course, is you have everything inside yourself to achieve what you want. In this case, we're talking about wellness and weight loss. You have that capacity, but most people don't understand that. They're always looking for external things to help them to achieve success. So when we look at this cycle of desperation, the three things look like this. First of all, we are not our conditioning. So just because you might be overweight now doesn't mean you always have to be, doesn't mean you were set up to be. So some people go, well, this is what I was always meant to be. I'm big boned on genetics or whatever. No, that's not the case. So our conditioning is not, in fact, the thing that's responsible for who we are today. Okay, when you begin to understand more about that, things can change. The second thing is how we experience the journey of change, the journey towards what we want, to losing weight and get into great shape. How we experience it isn't the way most people think. We're not being pushed and pulled around by external circumstances, although we think we are. It's not that. When we see through that misunderstanding, things change. The third thing, when we begin to understand how we can grow and what we've got going for us, which enables us to achieve results, which could be quite stunning for you, that third thing enables us to be very, very successful in many aspects, including losing weight and improving your well-being. So they're the three basic misunderstandings that we have. And this is what's behind Light Minds and the Light Minds program, which you might be interested in going on, where it's a 30-day program. We go into much more detail on all of these things over the 30 days. And you can, of course, just go on the website, see it there. And there's a button just above that you can actually click on as well to go onto that as a link. So I hope you found that useful. If you do join the Light Minds program, that'd be great. Good to see you on it. Thanks very much.